The Quest 3 has been out for about 4 months, and I've had mine for just about 3.5. And in those months, I've been using this device quite a bit. And I think I've finally gotten to a point where I'm ready to talk about it. So, consider this my review of the Quest 3. Now, this is going to be a relatively simple video. First, we're going to talk about what I liked. Second, we're going to talk about what I disliked. Then, we're actually going to try and solve some of the issues that I have with the headset. And I'm going to aim to answer 3 questions. The first being, would I recommend the Quest 3 as your first VR headset? The second one is, should you upgrade to the Quest 3 if you already have a Quest 2? And the final question is, would I recommend buying a Quest 3 if you already own a PC VR headset like the Valve Index? So with that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start with the pros. And I feel like I really should tell you guys that before I got this headset, I thought that standalone was not very good. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I thought that standalone devices were inferior to PC VR in pretty much every way, besides the obvious fact that you're not tethered to a PC. But I decided to buy it because the Passthrough looked interesting, and also people were saying that the processor was a lot better than on the Quest 2. So I took the plunge and I bought one. The first game that I ended up playing on the Quest 3 was Dungeons of Eternity. And I'm not gonna lie, if you had blindfolded me and put that headset on my head without me knowing it was a Quest 3 and started Dungeons of Eternity, I would have assumed it was a PC VR game because it's gorgeous. All the games that I've played so far not only look great, but they run great too. When I used to think about standalone headsets, there was always a but when it came to the tech. It's standalone, but it has terrible FOV and the games are low res. But with this thing, the FOV is comparable to the Index. And these lenses are so clear. The Quest 3 actually has pancake lenses, which I've never used before. If you put the Quest 3 on and then keep your head still and use your eyes to look around, everywhere you look on the lens is pretty much perfectly clear. If you compare that to like the Index, if you look to the sides, it gets blurry. I actually did a couple of Quest 3 videos in a row and then tried to go back to Minecraft VR using my Valve Index, and man, it was kind of hard to go back to it. It took me 10-15 minutes to reacclimatize to those god rays. And the clarity and the resolution is a nice bump up from the Index too. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the controllers. That was first try, by the way. I actually really like these things. The battery life on this thing is unbelievably good. I don't know how they've done it. I've only had to replace the batteries in these controllers once in the whole time that I've had it. Although when using them, I do miss the Index controller straps that let you let go of the controller when you're playing. But for the most part, the tracking works great with these things. I'd say about 95% of the time it's perfect. Having said that, the 5% of the time that it doesn't track is really annoying. For example, when using the bow and arrow in Dungeons of Eternity, pulling the arrow back all the way would cause me to lose tracking sometimes, and I would completely miss what I was aiming at. You don't tend to get that issue with lighthouses and PC VR, but that's just what happens when you have standalone and inside-out tracking. Now, let's talk about what is probably this headset's biggest selling point, the pass-through. One of the reasons I waited a couple of weeks to buy the Quest 3 is because I wanted to see everyone's opinions on the pass-through. And you know what? The videos looked really good, and all of the reviews said it was great. And I bought this thing thinking that the clarity would be like what I saw in those videos. Then it arrived, I put the headset on and the pass-through started, and I was left a little bit disappointed actually. So I want to make it perfectly clear for anyone that hasn't bought one of these things yet. What you see in the headset with your eyes is actually a bit grainier than what you see in the videos online. I'll put some examples on the screen now. On the left is what the recording looks like, and on the right is the exact same footage, but I've edited it so it looks more like what I was actually seeing in the headset. Now, you may see that comparison and think, oh Ryan, that's terrible. But even though it's a bit grainy, there is still a lot to like here. Let me explain. The depth perception with the pass-through is great. I can walk around the house with this headset on and not bash into things or trip over anything. I can easily pick things up, take a drink of water, go upstairs. It works really well for that. And once you actually start a mixed reality game, your thoughts about the graininess will disappear. I've played a bunch of different mixed reality games and it's honestly so cool. And the most interesting thing about this to me is I showed the pass-through games to my family. These are the same people that I showed my Valve Index to when I first got it, and they tried it once and then never wanted to try it again. It wasn't for them. And the thing was, they loved this. They actually enjoyed it so much that they said they'd play this again, and it actually got them interested in VR. So I do think Meta is on the right track here, and that pass-through is going to play a massive part in getting more of the general public involved in VR. And while it is very cool, I think it's also important to say that it does feel a bit gimmicky at the moment. It actually reminds me a lot of VR back in the day, when every game was sort of more of a tech demo than a full game. But that's because mixed reality is brand new, and I have no doubt that in a few years we're going to be seeing some very, very cool things with this technology. So it's all sounding pretty good for this thing here at the moment, isn't it? Well, let's talk about the things that I didn't like. The strap that comes with the Quest 3, the default strap, this thing is a disgrace and should never have been shipped with the product in the first place. It's like Meta decided to carefully make this beautiful cake, and instead of just putting a nice cherry on top and putting a nice strap on it, internet, they decided just to smash the whole thing. Now, I've got over 1,000 hours in Steam VR, and I sometimes do recording sessions like 3 to 4 hours long. But when I put on this device with this default strap to play Dungeons of Eternity for the first time, I couldn't play for more than 20 minutes. The reason being is because it puts so much pressure on the front of your face that after those 20 minutes, I had to take it off, and I had a headache so bad that it lasted for like 30 or 40 minutes after I'd taken the headset off. And it's not like this thing is super duper heavy either. It weighs about the same as the Quest 2. I can wear my Valve Index, right, which is 800 and something grams, for a 3 to 4 hour session of Minecraft and be relatively fine. But I can't wear this thing for 20 minutes because of this strap. That's crazy. This thing is garbage. Garbage. And it raises kind of an important point for me. If we want VR to reach a wider audience and become more mainstream, it needs to achieve two things. It needs to be really comfortable, and it needs to be easy to use. Now, Meta is the current leader of the VR space by market share. They have the most headsets out there. And I think Meta knows that. So I think they also know that a lot of people will be buying the Quest 3 as their first ever VR device. And you only get one chance at a first impression. So the fact that they shipped this headset with that garbage back there is irresponsible to me, and I'd even go as far as to say it's a bit negligent, because if we want this VR industry to flourish, we need people coming away from their first experience using the headset blown away. And I would bet money that a lot of people got a Quest 3 for Christmas, put the thing on for 20 minutes, it hurt their head so much they got a headache for an hour, they've put the thing to the side, and have dismissed VR because of that one first experience. And they probably will have a bad opinion of VR from now on, which is a massive shame, because this thing is really cool. The second issue that I ran into is that the microphone isn't that great. Okay, hello, so this is me talking. This is what I sound like when I talk, when I'm using the Quest 3 default microphone that is on the Quest itself. Now, if you're only going to use the Quest 3 to play with other Quest players online or whatever, then the mic is probably fine. But if you're planning on using this thing for content creation, or you're going to use it for PC VR where everyone has nice headsets and the mic quality is a lot higher, then it's really not up to stuff. And the third issue I have with it is the battery life. If you're just playing VR games with this thing, you'll get about 2 to 3 hours out of it. But then if you add the Passthrough games into that, you're only looking at like an hour, hour and a half at most. And it really does leave something to be desired. Now, having said all of those issues, they can actually all be fixed using accessories. And I've actually got 4 products here that fix the mic issue, the battery issue, and the head strap issue. So let's talk about the battery and the head strap first. Now, I've actually got 2 solutions for you in this video. One is the M3 Pro head strap from Bobo VR, and the second solution is Zyber's Elite strap and their neck power bank. Now, it's important that I tell you guys that Zyber actually sent me these products for this video, and I actually bought the M3 Pro head strap myself. I haven't been paid any money by Zyber for this video. The thoughts that I have on these products are my own. And the reason I wanted to include them in this video is because these 2 solutions solve the problem of the battery life and the head strap pain in slightly different ways. And we're going to go through the differences right now. That way you can come to your own conclusion about which one you like more. So let's start with the M3 Pro. The M3 Pro takes the pressure off your face and distributes it on the top of your forehead, much like the strap on the Quest Pro. And that's one of the main differences between the M3 Pro and the Zyber Elite strap. But another difference is that the battery is included with the M3 Pro, and it's actually built into the strap itself. You charge this separately, and then when it's charged, you simply attach it to the back, and it has a magnet, and it just goes boom. Simple as that. What that means is you actually get a bit of added weight distribution because the Quest is obviously front heavy. With the battery on the back, it kind of balances it out while also keeping it charged, which is really nice. Now let's talk about Zyber's solutions. The Zyber Elite strap takes the pressure off of your face by distributing it over the top of the head. So if you're used to the Valve Index, for example, you may end up preferring this over the M3 Pro. It's just as easy to install as the M3, and I actually found that the Elite strap stays slightly more secure on my head, whereas with the M3, the headset did move about a bit when moving your head. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the Zyber Elite doesn't actually come with a battery pack included, so that means you won't be getting any counterbalancing with the battery on the back of the strap. Now, I do believe that Zyber sells a strap which has a battery included, but that's not what they sent me. So you're either going to have to buy that, or you buy yourself this neck power bank. One of the positives of this thing is that it actually has 10,000 kilowatt hour battery, whereas the M3 Pro's battery is only 5,000. So this thing lasts a lot longer. And to be honest, before I received this thing, I was a bit skeptical, but it actually works really well. You simply attach the wire to the battery charger, and there's a nice little clip on the strap which you can then attach it to, which keeps it really nicely in place for when it connects to the Quest 3. And once I started playing with this on my shoulders, I kind of just forgot it was there. Plus, there's also another benefit. When you have the battery pack on the back of your headset like this, you can't lean back. Whereas with this, I can lean back in a chair, so this will be really good if you're ever traveling, like in a car or on an airplane. This is pretty good. So as you can see, there are differences between these two solutions, but they both solve the problems of the battery life and the strap being really painful. So depending on which solution you like more, they both work great. Now, let's talk about that microphone. Like I said earlier, if you're a content creator or you're planning on using a Quest 3 to play PC VR with your friends, the microphone just really isn't up to stuff. So let's take a look at the Mod Mic Wireless from Antlion Audio. And once again, I need to tell you that this Mod Mic Wireless was sent to me from Antlion Audio, but they haven't paid for this review, and my thoughts are, again, my own. If you watch VR YouTubers on the regular, you will have seen this microphone on their headset. And there is a good reason for that, because this thing is great. What impressed me most with this microphone is how simple it is to use and how easy it was to set up. It comes in this case and has these little magnets which you simply stick to the side of your Quest, and then the mic magnetizes to it, which makes it easy to remove as well. Then you simply plug the dongle into your PC and turn on the mic, and it's ready to record. There's no software to download, it just works as soon as you plug it into your computer. Now let's take a look at a comparison between the Quest 3 audio and the Mod Mic Wireless's audio. Hello, so right now I am recording both the Quest microphone and the Mod Mic microphone at the same time. Plosives, pop, bam, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I suppose. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the video, I guess. Hello, so right now I am recording both the Quest microphone and the Mod Mic microphone at the same time. Plosives, pop, bam, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I suppose. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the video, I guess. I mean, for me, there's no contest there. And if it wasn't good enough already, the mic has a 12-hour battery life. And honestly, the microphone is so good that you could just use it for voiceovers anyways, just on its own. In fact, this whole section where I've been talking about this device, I've actually been using this device to do exactly that. So, yeah. Mic drop. So, we've talked about the good, we've also talked about the bad, and we talked about how we can maybe fix the bad things. Now let's go back to those 3 questions I asked at the beginning of the video. Would I recommend that you buy a Quest 3 as your first VR headset? 100% yes. I'm a PC VR fan, and I will defend why I prefer PC VR over standalone any day of the week. But even I have to admit that this thing is awesome. The Quest 3 really does deliver near PC VR levels of gameplay on a standalone device. It has good field of view, it is really bright headset, it has really amazing lenses, the resolution is good, and the pass-through is really fun. But most importantly, if you bought this headset, you bought an extra microphone, you bought a strap that fits nice, and a battery, it would still be cheaper than a PC VR capable PC and a PC VR headset. So as a device to get someone into the VR space, I couldn't think of a more perfect device. And on to the second question, would I recommend this device for someone who has a Quest 2 already and wants to upgrade to the Quest 3? Again, yeah. It's pretty much an upgrade in every single way, so that's a no-brainer. And now for the final question. Would I recommend you pick one of these up if you're upgrading from something like a Valve Index? This is where it gets a bit tricky. If you already have an Index, you already have lighthouses, you already have Index controllers, and you already have a PC capable of PC VR. So in that situation, looking at the Quest 3, I don't think it's a big enough upgrade to warrant buying it. And that's mainly because of the Quest 3's issues. It's kind of like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back situation, but the step isn't even a full step. You get a slight bump in resolution and you get better clarity with the pancake lenses, but you lose the amazing microphone and head strap that's built into the device, unless you pay more for the Quest accessories. And on top of that, you actually lose the amazing audio system it has built in too. Plus, we're seeing some amazing new headsets come out recently, like the Bigscreen Beyond, which is PC VR only, and I think we're going to see more like that. So just to summarize, if you already have an Index, my opinion is you should hold off on getting a Quest 3 unless you have an extra £400–500 and really want to try the pass-through and mixed reality on this thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's my first ever review of a hardware type thing, so let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments. And let me know if you'd like to see more, because the next thing I'm going to be getting is the Bigscreen Beyond, so I would like to review that if you guys want to see it. And if you'd like to buy any of the accessories that I've mentioned in this video, there will be links down below in the description. But yeah, I should be posting another Lethal Company video this week, so look out for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!